Hello, it's Oliver here for a SportsCode breakdown of a college basketball game. This one, Duke versus Boston College, the big upset. So we'll check out the stats that I collected using my code window. There's a walkthrough for this code window and this output window in the description if you want to check it out, see how it works. You can also email me if you want me to send it to you. I don't mind. So here it is. So just starting at the left, this game box score. The thing that kind of is points I want to point out the most is this 3-point percentage. Boston College shot a unsustainable for a season 58%, while Duke shot only 27%. And that's kind of the difference between these two teams. The kind of big takeaway from this game is how lucky Boston College were, which sounds kind of reductionist, but they just did make their shots, whereas Duke didn't, especially at the perimeter. Because in every other statistical category, Duke dominated. I mean, at 2-point percentage, which you'll see why soon. Rebounding, especially offensive rebounds, defensive stats, and Duke also had way more turnovers. So Duke was a far more dominant team other than shooting from the 3-point line. And in such a close game, there was only 5 points in it. That really made the difference. Now, if we come over to shot quality, this stuff here in the middle is all irrelevant. But if we come over here to shot quality, and by quality I mean is just, is it a good or a bad shot? It's just a measure I coded in, just dependent on whether the shot was contested or how good the shot was it open, etc., etc. So from the perimeter, 62% of Boston College's 3-point shots were of good quality, so no one was contesting them, they were open. Whereas 77% of Duke's 3-point shots were of good quality. So that even just proves the point further that not only did Duke have better shots, but they just missed more of them. Yet if we look at their low post scoring, so under the rim, they had 18 of 25 or 72%. So that's around, I think, 36 points just in that area. And that's just because when you look at Duke, and especially if you look at the video of just Duke playing Boston College, one team is obviously it's just much bigger than the other. Duke being Duke, get 5-star athletes like Bagley, and they're just bigger, not so necessarily faster players, which will become important later, but they're just bigger, more athletic players, and they really used that dominance in the low post. They just didn't stay to that. So Boston College better 3-point shooting. Now, if we look at the quarter analysis, and we just look at the points scored in each quarter, excluding free throws, I mean, this second quarter is the quarter that really changed everything. Duke got 19 points, and Boston College had 28. And that's just, if you look at the 3-point percentage, 60% from 3, whereas Duke was only 43% from 3. Boston College also had more rebounds. And if you look at this first quarter, Duke didn't get any 3-point shots, while Boston College had 4, or 67%. The only reason that Duke stayed in it and even scored more points in this quarter was because of their domination in that low post area. So then the other two quarters, well, they were actually quite equal. So it was really that second quarter and the 3-point shooting in general that really helped Boston College out. And even if we look at the halftime stats, that difference becomes really noticeable. I mean, 25% to 69%. So, and even if you look at the quality, 63 Boston College, 83 to Duke. So Duke were just not making their shots. So let's look at some video. Now, as I mentioned before, Duke has better athletes. They're a lot bigger than Boston College players, but Boston College players are a lot quicker. So what Boston College had to do to really make the most of this game was they had to kind of create mismatches so that their smaller players, especially their two very talented guards, were going to be matched on to much bigger Duke players, and they could beat them with speed. Now, the one play they ran quite a lot during this game was a two-man high screen in which the guard Bowman, who was the best player in this game, had the option to either attack either Bagley or Carter off the dribble and either go to the rim or shoot, sling it out to a shooter on the perimeter. So we'll watch this play And real speed, we'll slow it down with some drawings, and then we'll go through some other examples. So with real speed, 2-man high screen, attacks Carter, goes into the rim, lays it off for a floater. So now if we watch it again with some drawings. So here he's got Grayson Allen guarding him, and he's got 2 men placing a high screen with Carter and Bagley behind them. So Bagley's to the left as Bowman sees it, and Carter's to the right. So here's either option to go right or left. And in this case, I believe he goes right. Yep, he goes, oh, skipped ahead. Yes, he goes right. Now once he gets to this point, he has 3 options. He can either go right to the rim, try and draw some sort of defensive foul or get a layup or something like that. He can swing it out to the second option, number 2, number 25, as his defender has now gone in to help protect that low post area to try and help out Bagley and Carter, who are on the perimeter. Or he can sling it out to number 3 if that Duke defender comes in to help protect the basket. So number 2's wide open. He doesn't pick that option, unfortunately. He just goes straight to the rim, dumps it off to number 12, who lays it up. So now we can look at some other examples. As I said, they ran this play continuously. Again, he attacks Carter. This time he goes to option 2 for the open shooter, who slings it in. Something you'll notice, he's just a lot quicker than these men guarding him, so this time he goes to the right, pulls up, draws a defensive foul. These organisers are pretty jumpy when they've got drawings in them. High screen, attacks Bagley, shoots an open jumper on the elbow, clunks off the rim. Exact same thing, attacks Bagley, shoots an open jumper at the elbow. This time it does go in. You'll never guess what he does next. This is actually a different play, though it looks exactly identical. Same thing, shoots an elbow over Bagley, so shoots a jumper at the elbow over Bagley, sorry. This was another play that Boston College ran. Again, it's all about bringing the Duke big players away from the basket. So this one they would use a initial screen at the top to bring out Bagley to try and switch him onto Bowman. And then they would bring out Popovich's, which is Boston College's token white player, in which he would then roll to the basket. So here comes the initial screen to bring Bagley out. So there's Bagley, he's now out. Trying to switch him on. So the switch has been made. Popovich will now set a fake screen. There he is. And you'll see that there is no one under this basket, so he has got free reign if Bowman can get him the ball once he slips in, which he does. He fumbles the ball, however, and kind of breaks down from there. I believe they drew a defensive foul. So they ran this play often as well. Organizer jump, so initial screen to switch Bagley on. Bagley doesn't switch, fortunately. He's figured it out, but Bowman goes in, gets it off to Popovich, who lays it up. Again, set a screen, switch onto Bagley. Bagley switches onto Bowman. Popovich sets another screen, slips in. There's no one at the basket though, so Bowman just goes himself. It's going to repeat that last one again because it was a really good example. So switch onto Bagley for Bowman. Popovich sets another screen, slips in. No one's there anyway, so Bowman just goes himself. Now Duke at the beginning or at the end of this first half, they did try a lot of zone. However, it just didn't work. As you've just seen from many examples, that Boston College actually likes to shoot from these elbows, so they're actually quite good at finding that area and just shooting from there anyway. So Popovich here sets a screen. Bowman finds that zone, finds where he likes to shoot anyway, hits it in. Organizer jumps, It's coming back. There we go. Again, Bowman's just finding that zone he likes. Good screen by Popovic. Banks it in. So Duke surprisingly did not go to zone much after that. But as I said, that Boston College were very lucky with some of their shots. They weren't all open. Duke actually had good defense throughout the game. I just wanted to demonstrate some of that. So here's really good Duke defense. I mean, you'll see at the end of this just a lucky shot. And this is just good discipline, ball pressure. I mean, that's a hard three-point shot to make. Great. There's not much Grayson Allen could do about that. He was right in his face contesting, and it still went in. Here's a couple of examples of Boston College doing that two-man high screen and how Duke defended it. I mean, Bagley here, he just strips the ball from him. Bowman's quick, but he's not. I mean, he still has to face that size. Again, same thing. Bagley's size is just too big for him, so he can't shoot. Play breaks down, clunks off the rim after a bad turnaround shot. Again, Boston College gets the ball. Duke gets the ball after some good rebounding. Grayson Allen just sits down. More great rebounding by Duke. Gets in for the layup. I mean, it's just a good example at the end there of Duke's just dominance inside. Here's just more examples of that. Duke are just bigger. And this is what they should have stuck to throughout the game. They should have just used this size over and over again. Posted up players. Because they've just got better athletes. That's just good Bagley rebounding there, following it up. So, I mean, if all your kids are 4- and 5-star players, mostly 5-star players, you've just got to use as much of that athleticism as possible. Again, it's really good rebounding. There's nothing Boston College can do about that when they're just bigger and stronger than you. I mean, that's just Bagley being a better player than Bowman, who's guarding him. This one jumped, so I'm just coming back. Again, good rebounding. I think that was Carter. And last one. See, open shot. Doesn't get it. Good rebounding. Slams it in. So that's kind of the story of Duke's game. Missing open three-point shots, but dominating inside. But they just didn't keep going to that. They should have probably made up sets where they just posted up Bagley and Carter over and over again. Maybe got Boston College's players into foul trouble. Maybe switch Bowman onto Bagley. Try and get Bowman into foul trouble. That would have been a good way to, counter the speed of Boston College. Sometimes your best defense is on offense when you can try and get their best players into foul trouble, but it's just unable for Duke. So yeah, that's what I've got. Sweet. See you later.